Yo, what's going on? You tuned into another episode of Not the Average Local Rapper, hosted by yours truly, East Shore Ridge. This episode, man, I'm gonna talk about something that all creators gonna eventually end up doing along the way. Not just rappers, but singers, content creators, all of that, producers, and that's collaborating with others. You know what I mean? I've been doing that my whole time, doing music. The whole 20 years I've been collaborating with other artists, rappers, singers, collaborate with DJs. It's, definitely an important thing, you know what I mean? Because, you can just, create music by yourself all the time, but that can get repetitive and boring after a while. It's even for yourself as an artist. I like to hear what I can create with other artists, man. Always have, and like I said, I always been doing it. Like how I started collaborating with others was really over the internet, man. That's how I started. I would be in the man, boy, I'm showing my age with this one. I would be in the AOL chat rooms. This is about around 20 years ago, like around 2004 probably. I'd be in like the AOL chat rooms and shit, and it would be like people in there, like what they called it, like it was basically like text battling though, like you write rhymes out against each other and shit, and then I'd be doing shit like that, and then I ended up some people in the chat room, they actually did music and shit, so I kind of got in the mix with them. One of the guys he told me about what software to get. Kind of put me down with some game to get me started and shit, and those ended up being the people that I first started collaborating with. Can't really remember nobody's name or the name of it, because we put a little group together, and we were from all different parts of the country and shit. I do remember there was another cat from Maryland in there though, but you know what I'm saying. But I can't remember none of that shit. It was so long ago. But that's how I started though, and like they was good people, man. They definitely put me down with some information that I still use to this day, as far as like learning how to record myself and all that. So that right there alone is an example of like the importance of working with other people, man, because it's going to be beneficial to you just as much as it is anybody else, if not more. So that was just how I started with that, and then it just became a continuous thing. Like I would whether it be through they used to have like these forums and shit on online. They was like forum/torrent sites, where you could download shit, but you could also post your music in there. I'd do that, and I collaborate with some people through that, and a couple of the people I met on there, that led to me to like going to like do shows and record in other states that I probably otherwise wouldn't have went to. You know what I mean? So it was like that was dope. That I got to meet people in other places, and kind of like build them connections there. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, I probably would just stay my ass in Maryland. Just sitting in the crib, doing music and shit. So yeah, man. Like it's definitely like one of the main things that comes out of collaborating is just like the connections you make, the networking you can do, the shit you can learn, but like even just beneficial to your music, like you wanna sometimes experiment with different sounds if it comes down to that, or like you might have a song, like this is just an example, like, you might have a song, be like, damn, I could hear somebody from this region of the country, or I could hear somebody with this type of voice or something, and it's just dope to have like them options open, where it's like ever since the existence of the internet, it's always been ways to like, move shit around. We was heavy with them emails even back then, but now it's just way more advanced. You got the Dropboxes and the Google Drives and all that shit now, where it's like you pretty much just click and drag, and y'all working, you know what I mean? So, um, but like, yeah, that's just a couple of the things that's important with that, man. I mean, definitely a lot of like upside to like working with other artists and shit. Like I said, man, I can't really say what would necessarily be a pro or a con to to every artist because I mean, I think every artist situation is different and specific to them. But just as far as me though, like like all the things that I mentioned, like just being able to have them opportunities to other places, being able to mix the sound up a little bit, and it's also kind of like inspiration too, man. Like it's been times where people have sent me tracks, like and I'll hear it and I'll just be like, damn, yeah, that motivated me to just go, way harder than I've been going. You know what I mean? Like it really, it's just like I say, man. Like I always say, rap like a sport to me, yo. So it's like when it come to like collaborate, them pretty much like your teammates for real, like and your teammates make you better sometimes. If you ever play sports, you know that. You know what I mean? Like the momentum gets built, off of one teammate, and he kind of can be the driving force, for the rest of the team and shit. So I look at it like that. I mean, yeah, I think it can definitely be more good than bad, but what I mean, it can be issues just like with everything else. I mean, like it can be creative differences. You know what I'm saying? It can be business disagreements. Just you know all types of shit, man. Egos come into play. Everybody's personalities ain't the same. People get triggered by shit. And it may make them react the way that ain't that can be toxic. You know what I mean? It ain't healthy for the work environment, man. My personal experiences, man. I had fallouts with people, man. Some of it been business shit. Some of it been personal. Like when you dealing with other people, it ain't really no one. It ain't really no guarantee which one it's gonna be. Like I try to just keep it, business no matter what, but like I said, everybody's personality ain't the same. Everybody don't do shit the same. So that's what kind of where the conflicts can come into play sometimes. But I think that the main thing about that is when them conflicts do come into play and the differences and disagreements. It's all about how you handle it because shit like that is just naturally gonna happen. You know what I mean? But the most important thing about all that is how you handle it. Like and I think it just take like being open minded. Being willing to compromise and just being patient. You know what I mean? In a couple different ways, being patient. But just knowing that like just because something don't go right, at the moment, don't mean it won't go right. Don't mean you can't work through it, or don't mean it gotta be beef or like a fallout or no shit like that. And this might just be me speaking from like like the wisdom that I have, man. I've been doing shit a long time, and it's like from like a where I'm at standpoint, it probably don't even look like I would have as much experience or wisdom to offer, because it's like, you still where you at, but it's like just because you ain't high up, what I mean, the chain, it don't mean that like you don't still have the wisdom, what I mean? So it's like I may not have done things on a high level, but I've done them regardless, nonetheless, what I mean? So it's like a lot of this shit that people in the industry might deal with on like a higher level is like shit that I've dealt with, on my own level and shit. So that's kind of the place where I be, what I mean, speaking from, what I mean, when I be kind of like trying to give the wisdom out, like I imagine anybody listening wouldn't be listening if they didn't think that, I was with the shit I was saying, was valid or whatever. But yeah, that's why I said, a lot of this shit is just, like subject to the artist, man. What may be a good thing for one may not be for another. What may be a bad thing for an artist may, may not be an issue, may not even be relevant to the other artists, So it's all about, just getting in the mix either way though, because another thing is another pro that I forgot to mention was when you collaborate with other artists, you become a part of their fan base, Like you could gain fans from, their fans or the people they know. It's happened to me, a bunch of times, man. Like wild shit, man. You know what I mean? Like really met a lot of, people, that became big parts of my journey, Like just through them hearing my music through other people, Like I guess is what I'm trying to say, if that makes sense. So yeah, like the whole networking aspect, that's a big word that get thrown around, and the music industry has for like, some years. It's like the networking thing, man. It is important, yo, and like I said, I've collaborated with people all around the world, man, for a long time. So I mean, I think at times it can be too much. You can't really pile too much on your plate, because I'm gonna keep it all the way a bean. It's kind of where I'm at now, man. I did a lot of collaborating this year, and it really it wasn't even no issue just knocking the songs out. You know what I mean? Because that's what I do for real. Like, you know what I mean? It ain't shit for me to write a verse in, a matter of 10, 15 minutes and record it in 10, 15 minutes, you know what I mean? Spend a half an hour knocking a collab out for real. Like, that's just how that shit be. Sometimes I've done it in less time. It's more so, the shit that's got to be done after that, you know what I mean? The releasing it, sometimes, man, people can kind of, and like I said, man, I'm keeping all the way a bean on here, man. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. Like I ain't like really talking about nobody in particular directly when I be saying shit, but it's always one of them if the shoe fit, you know what I mean, cases or whatever. But like some people that I've worked with, multiple people, man, they overstep their boundaries. They try to tell you, what to do as an artist, and it's like, man, like excuse me, I'm working with you, you know what I mean? We definitely, you know what I mean, going like, shoot ideas around and talk about things and plan things out and shit. But one thing that ain't gonna happen, you know what I mean, on my watch is like, you know what I mean, nobody really gonna like tell me how I like make my music and shit, like on my end, like you can throw your feedback in there, once I'm done when I'm done, you know what I mean? But in the initial part of the process, when, we try to lay the foundation, it ain't gonna be no, oh yeah, you gotta talk about this or you gotta do it this type of way. Nah. And that's where things like that become an issue with me, you know what I mean? Because it's like some could call it stubborn, you know what I mean? That's fine. I wouldn't argue with that, honestly, because it's my shit, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be stubborn and hard headed about it, you know what I mean? Especially, if I'm like real adamant about, the point I'm trying to make. So that's fine. But yeah, that can be a possible issue, man. Like I say, man, a lot of this shit I be speaking on, like really just from like experience mixed with like, what I just know is a potential situation, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, then it's like I don't know, the whole the whole, yeah, man, I don't know, like it's a lot with it, man. I was gonna get into something, but I think that needs to actually be saved for like another episode, man, because I kind of just be breaking down in my head, what could be concepts and shit. So I think I'm gonna say what I was gonna say, but yeah, man, I think I'm at a point now though where like just me personally, where like the collabs are probably gonna be kept to a minimum moving forward into this next year, 2024. Just because I got more things that I got to focus on, on my solo journey. But I mean, then like what can also be I guess a potential issue, but I wouldn't even say it's an issue, man. I think it's just got to be more of an understanding laid out. It's just how the songs are gonna get distributed. You know what I mean? As far as like the royalties and the the what platforms they get posted on, and who's gonna have possession of what, as far as the song and shit like that. On what channels and platforms and shit like that. That can I guess throw kind of like a wrench in the game, so to speak. But other than that, though, man, I mean, I think it's all just about just having that understanding, man. You know, like I said, I think it can be a lot if you ain't got like shit flowing how it need to be flowing with whoever you collaborate with. That's why I said I think I need to keep them to a minimum. You know what I mean? Like I do got some things planned in the future, but the people that I got them playing with, like very, very good understanding with what's going on, like smooth working relationships, shit like that. But like I said, people have different personalities, different visions, different ideas, different beliefs, different methods, different procedures, different ways of doing shit in general. You know what I mean? So I don't ever like take that shit personal, man. It always be business for real. And yeah, so I don't know in 2024, like if you want a verse from me, man, if you want to collab, might be a price tag on the next year. I don't know, man. I'm joking, but at the same time, it's like I don't know, like time is valuable, man. So I don't know. I used to wonder like, man, why do people be charging for verses, man, when they like they ain't like got the most motion, or they ain't got the best music. But hey, I kind of understand now, man, a little more. Like if your time is valuable and people feel like they can utilize your service, then you need to get your piece and capitalize. So I don't know, man. We'll see how it all goes. But I think all in all, like the take from this right here, it is definitely necessary to collaborate with people, man. It's a part of the game. But it don't always just go smooth, man. So if you want to make it work, then I guess the best thing is just to be aware, in advance, of the artists that you're gonna be working with. It's also cool to kind of have like a little, information about them prior to working too, man, because you can end up working with somebody and they can have you in a situation you don't want to be in, or have you with a label that you don't want to have, or you just don't know, man. So I won't get too much into that, but just be mindful of who you working with all around though, like all around. Because it ain't all just about the music, you know what I mean? Like this shit can get bigger than that, you know what I mean? Like I always say, like I'm a man before I'm an artist, yo. So with that being said, man, just continue to make dope music, man. Try to keep the energy good, and just enjoy doing this shit, man. Take advantage of the experiences and the opportunities, and branch out. Don't be afraid to, be different and branch out and get heard by as many people as you can get heard by. It ain't all about the people hearing you, that's why, I made this podcast, man. Don't get caught in that pocket of being a local rapper, be universal, yeah. On that note, it's been another episode of Not the Average Local Rapper. East Shore Ridge. Appreciate you listening. Catch you on the next one.